Test 3.
Section 1, Listening Comprehension. In this section of the test, you will have an opportunity to demonstrate your ability to understand conversations and talks in English. There are 3 parts to this section, with special directions for each part. Answer all the questions on the basis of what is stated or implied by the speakers in this test. Part A, Directions. In Part A, you will hear short conversations between 2 people. After each conversation, you will hear a question about the conversation. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Now we will begin Part A with the first conversation.
Number 1.
I'm sure glad that today's physics class is over. What did you think of the lecture?
I was lost. I couldn't follow a word Professor Smith said.
What does the man mean? Number 2.
So I told Jane you'd get back to her before you got the concert tickets.
Okay, I'll give her a call as soon as I finish my sociology paper.
What will the man probably do first? Number 3.
Excuse me, do you mind if I borrow that newspaper for a little bit?
I'm sorry, but it doesn't belong to me.
What does the woman imply? Number 4.
I hope I'll be able to find Fred's sister at the bus station. All I know is that she's got brown hair and blue eyes.
I could go with you. I met her a couple of years ago.
What does the man imply about Fred's sister? Number 5.
There must be some mistake. I didn't order the baked flounder.
I'm so sorry. That's right. You had the crab cakes. I'll take care of it right away.
What can be inferred about the woman? Number 6.
I haven't seen you at the student center all week. Have you been sick?
I've been overwhelmed with my history paper.
What does the man mean? Number 7.
I can give you a ride. I'm going home this weekend anyway.
Thanks, but let me give you some money for gas.
What does the man want to do? Number 8.
We thought we'd all go out for lunch today. Can you be ready to leave at 1 o'clock?
I have to pick up my car and do a couple of other errands, so I'll just come straight to the restaurant.
What will the woman do? Number 9.
Are your allergies acting up again? I thought your doctor gave you medication for that last week.
He did, but so far it's not helping much. I'm going to have to go back and try to get it changed.
What will the woman probably do? Number 10.
Could I please get a copy of your most recent catalog?
I'm sorry, but we're all out right now. If you'll give me your name and address, I'll make sure that you get one when some new ones come in.
What will the man probably do? Number 11.
Have you seen the new pottery that Lisa's made for the student exhibition?
I know, she really outdid herself this time.
What does the woman imply? Number 12.
Could you turn down your stereo a bit? I really can't concentrate on my book.
Why didn't you just say so?
What can be inferred about the man? Number 13.
I can't believe we have another lab report due so soon. Dr. Rogers must think we don't have any other classes.
I know just what you mean. I'll be really pressed to get it done.
What does the man mean? Number 14.
Those modern sculptures over there are really weird, don't you think?
I couldn't stand them either at first, but now I rather like them.
What does the woman imply? Number 15.
I need to do something to improve my spoken Italian as quickly as possible.
Doesn't the community college offer something?
What does the man suggest the woman do? Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear longer conversations. After each conversation, you will hear several questions. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Remember, you should not take notes or write on your test pages. Now we will begin Part B with the first conversation. Listen to a conversation between 2 students in the campus dining hall.
I haven't seen you here for a couple weeks. Have you stopped eating or something?
No, does it look like I've stopped eating? I've been spending a lot of time in the library.
Working on a paper?
I wish I was working on a paper. I'm working on 3 different papers: anthropology, English Lit, and history.
Wow, that is a lot of work.
Yeah, and what's frustrating is that I'm studying the 19th century British Empire in all 3 classes, but I can't just write a single paper for all 3.
Why not?
The professors won't let me, even if I make it 3 times as long as the suggested length.
Oh, that's too bad. Could you write your papers on 3 aspects of one topic?
What do you mean? Do you have something in mind?
Well, let's see. Maybe you could do something with Romanticism, like, write your anthropology paper on the cultural basis of Romanticism, and, your history paper on the influence of the Romantic poets on British foreign policy, and your English paper on an analysis of some Romantic poems.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. I've already started the research for one of the papers, so I can use that. What can I do to repay you?
You want to write up my chemistry lab for me?
I'd love to, but I've never taken chemistry, so I'm not sure you'd like the results.
Oh, well, no thanks necessary then. Have a good weekend, and try to get out of the library and get some sleep. You have big circles under your eyes.
Okay, I'll try. See you later.
Number 16.
What has the man been busy doing all week?
Number 17.
What does the woman suggest the man do to make his work easier?
Number 18.
Why does the woman mention romanticism?
Number 19.
Why doesn't the woman want any help from the man? Listen to a conversation between two friends on a beach.
Hey, Michelle, look what I just found. Right here in the sand.
A piece of wood? Oh, driftwood. Interesting shape. Almost like some sort of modern sculpture.
Yeah, and feel how smooth it is.
Must have been in the water a long time. It could have been drifting in the ocean currents for months or even years.
In the currents? Doesn't the wind just blow things around out there?
Well, sure, but the currents are always moving too, almost like rivers, but underwater rivers flowing through the ocean.
So how do they find out where these currents go? Stick a message in a bottle and throw it in the water?
Don't laugh. In fact, I was reading in a science magazine that oceanographers have released huge numbers of bottles into the ocean over the years. They wanted to map out where the currents would carry them.
Say, I'll bet after they found out where all those bottles ended up, they could enter all that data into a computer and make a pretty detailed model to show where the currents go.
In fact, they did. And they also found a neat way to test that model. There was a freighter carrying sneakers from a factory in Asia. It was caught in a big storm and thousands of pairs of sneakers got dumped in the Pacific Ocean.
Really? What a waste.
Yeah. Turns out, though, that hundreds of these shoes started washing up on beaches somewhere near Seattle, just about where the computer models had predicted the currents would carry them.
Gee, you mean all that stuff I find on the beaches might be part of some big scientific experiment? I thought it was all just trash.
Number 20.
What are the speakers mainly discussing?
Number 21.
What did the man find on the beach?
Number 22.
According to the magazine article, what did scientists put into the ocean?
Number 23.
What can be inferred from the story about the sneakers? Part C. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear several short talks. After each talk, you will hear some questions. The talks and the questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question, and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Now we will begin Part C with the first talk. Listen to part of a talk by a resident advisor in a dormitory for first-year college students.
I need to make sure you understand how to get housing for next year. When you entered as first-year students this year, the school assigned you to a dorm and a roommate. But next year, as returning students, you'll choose both your roommate and your dorm. But whether or not you actually get to live in your first choice depends on what number you or your roommate draws in the lottery system. The system gives priority to the students who have been here longest. Fourth-year students get the first block of numbers. Third years get the second block, and second years, like you'll be, get the third. The lower the number you draw, the sooner you choose. Number 1 gets the first choice. Number 2 gets the second choice, and so on. You can use either your own or your intended roommate's number to make your room choice. If your roommate for next year has been at the school longer than you have, they'll be in a better block of numbers, and so will have a better number than any second-year student. But most of you will probably be rooming with other second-year students, and so neither of you may have a great number. You may not get into your first or even second choice. Of course, if you've made plans to live off campus, you don't need to enter the lottery at all. Dorm space will be especially tight this year because the dorms on North Campus will be closed for renovations. This means that those of you who draw the worst numbers won't be able to get dorm housing at all. In that case, the housing office will help you find off-campus housing.
Number 24.
What aspect of student housing does the talk mainly focus on?
Number 25.
Why do the students attending the meeting need the information that is given?
Number 26.
What determines which group a student is placed in to choose housing for the next year?
Number 27.
Who is not expected to participate in the housing lottery? Listen to part of a lecture in a zoology class.
Before I tell you about the interesting discovery related to Tyrannosaurus Rex, I need to review something we studied last semester, the difference between what are commonly called cold-blooded and warm-blooded animals. In warm-blooded animals, birds and mammals for example, the body temperature normally stays within a narrow range, no matter what the outside temperature is. As a result, a warm-blooded animal is usually active in both cold and hot weather because its body temperature can adjust to the temperature of its environment. On the other hand, cold-blooded animals, such as most reptiles, amphibians, and insects, are unable to create enough heat internally to raise their temperature above the temperature of the environment. So, for example, the temperature of a cold-blooded animal falls when the environment is cool. I hope this distinction is clear. Now, moving on to Tyrannosaurus Rex. You may know that dinosaurs, being reptiles, are generally believed to have been cold-blooded. Well, a recent research study found that the chemical composition of the bones of Tyrannosaurus Rex was consistent with the bones of an animal that has a very narrow range of internal temperature, indicating that it was probably warm-blooded.
Number 28.
What is the main topic of the lecture?
Number 29.
What is likely to happen to cold-blooded animals when the weather is cold?
Number 30.
Why does the speaker discuss Tyrannosaurus Rex?